When you want to come round? Hello, ladies.
There he is.
Lads, how are we?
Hey, mate.
Good to see you.
How are you?
On the booze already? This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty dangerous set for us, isn't it?
Well, we'll drink all of them before we're out, we?
Well, good. Yeah, that's going to be a long day.
Well, it's top shelf anyway.
Top shelf liquor. Come on in, mate.
Thanks for having me, Boy. Go around the long
Yeah,
way.
go the long way round. Get your K's in.
Yeah.
Get your steps up. Do you like whiskey?
Love whiskey.
Oh,
Love whiskey more than golf.
This is not a good combo. Ah.
Am I going to pour it? Are you going to pour it?
Well, looks like you're taking some leadership there, which I'm all on board for.
Should I pour it?
Yeah, make yourself at home.
Right to the top, or?
Oh, that's just a little tipple, and then
Have a little nip.
probably have
What
another
do they call
nip. Yeah, and a little nip. Here we go.
You beauty.
Straight into it. What do we got here? Kentucky straight burn whiskey,
Can't beat
beautiful.
a Kentucky bourbon. That is the
No,
best,
it is good.
best in the world.
Well, you were over there, weren't you?
I was over there for the event last year, and I should have gone to the distillery.
Yeah.
But I was being a typical golfer and being very pathetic, so I played badly, so I was sulking. Didn't go. Yeah. Should have gone. Missed the cut. Again, seems quite a common theme at the moment, missing the cut.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. At least,
Cheers, mate.
At least you're in the field.
Yeah. Well, beat a little what? Not most of the fields, unfortunately. Lovely.
That is cool.
Time's at 9:30 in the morning.
That's on a Tuesday.
You're saying they're having a Wednesday off. Monday.
Well, I was saying that, yeah, I'm trying to stop the midweek drinking,
Okay.
and then you've actually come up with quite a good theory
Yeah, well,
where midweek is technically only Wednesday.
wasn't me. It's one of our amazing
Yeah.
cameramen that came up with the idea.
Yeah, so
But I'll take full responsibility for it.
so essentially that opens up 6 out of 7 days of the week.
Yeah. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Yeah. Wow. It's a great day to do a podcast
Well,
on Tuesday.
I only play golf Thursday, Friday, so I've got plenty of time. We're not all flying through golfing life on private jets and it's all easy, we're making minutes. It's not like that. He turns up and he's absolutely steaming. He slipped on his driver, face ground into the ground. I was thinking, this bloke's one of the best golfers in the world. Like, what's he doing? Walked across the 16, next minute, no, tap on the shoulder. Hi, I'm Tom Watson. Do you mind if I join you? I'm like, wow. Any job offers out there? I mean, I put a great pint somewhere. I know I would.
All right, James Morrison, welcome to the beautiful Buffalo Trace Distillery, London. I'd say kid in a candy school, but this is almost better than that, isn't it?
So for me, it's just like heaven. I've got the shakes coming in, looking around at the booze I could be drinking. But no, thank you for having me. What a great place.
If you are just listening to this podcast, there is literally hundreds of whiskey bottles surrounding us, so don't mind us if we get a little bit distracted. But James, welcome along. Thanks for coming on, mate. You've had an amazing career. You've been on tour for God knows how many years, over 15 years on the DP World Tour now. How are you? What have you been up to?
Mould, stiff,
Yeah,
sore.
yeah.
No, it's been a great 15 years. Gone really fast, and I play 430 odd events on tour. So it's now kids coming out on tour now, born in 2007 and 2006, and like, oh, how long you been on tour then? And I try and tell them, and they just start laughing at me. How you still alive? Let alone still playing out here. But DP World Tour do a great job of looking after us on a weekly basis, and look, I love it. I love playing the game, love competing, and hopefully do it for touch wood, do it for a bit longer. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, where are you at the moment, mate? Obviously, a little bit of a tough run at the moment, a few cuts missed. Where are you at in your career, and how do you see the next?
Yeah, I guess a bit of a crossroads, really. I mean, I kind of rewind back to 3 years ago where I played Race to Dubai. I think I finished 50 something on the Order of Merit, and I didn't want to be there, and that was it. I was playing our biggest event of the year, the finale, and I was hating every single second of it. And that's not golf. That's nothing to the tournament to do with where I was at mentally. And I feel like this has been building for a while and haven't quite dealt with my mental issues, but dealt with bits I've never quite had the time to deal with. And that kind of caught up with me a little bit. And I lost my card last year for the first time in 15 years. So it's a different year for me, and play as much as I can on the main tour, play a bit Hotel Planner Tour. I did have a bit of a low moment. I played in the Middle East for 2 weeks on the Hotel Planner Tour. I was pushing a trolley. It was 46 degrees.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I had my head down like that, pushing the trolley, and I ditched it halfway around in the sand. I'm like, this. This is not for me.
See
I'm
you
too
later.
old for this. I'm not doing it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that's gonna be the biggest challenge for me. Is gonna be the mental side of it and get myself ready mentally to play. And look, who knows if it's this year, maybe next year. I don't know, but I'm kind of trying to take it one step at a time.
Because 15 years is a long time. You're institutionalised almost for doing that. for that long.
100%, yeah, and actually, I think that becomes the biggest fear of a normal tour pro. That's kind of my angle. Is I'm just a good solid tour pro. I'm not Victor Hovland or Rory McIlroy. Like for us, traveling the world, playing, yeah, we make a nice living at it. We do great, but it's hard, and it's 30 weeks a year around the world. The traveling side of it, and I hate to think how many flights have been on, how many weeks you've been away, all the little things that the
Yeah.
geek would kind of add up and figure out. But it's top level sport, and if you don't like it, get out. But I've loved it. I've really enjoyed doing it.
Nice. Well, let's talk about how you got into it to
Yep.
start everything off, and go back to when you were fighting between cricket and golf.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, two of my favourite sports.
Me too,
Relatively similar. What was that part of your life like when you're just deciding which way to go?
Well, yeah, cricket is my life. Was my life. I love the game and have done. And I'd play for Surrey from 8 till 18. I played England cricket with Alistair Cook. That was my whole childhood. I mean, literally, like the guys on tour play golf, I played cricket, and I loved it. And I really enjoyed my whole time through my younger years playing cricket, and then started playing golf when I was 16, and went from 18 to scratch in 10 months. Well, I'm going back to 0 to 18 in the next 10 months where I'm playing, so it could go full circle. But and then within a year and a half of playing golf, I was at college in America, and that was my trajectory into the game. And
So it kind of like your quick
very, yeah, and
launch in golf took it out of your hands, and you're like, maybe cricket's
correct.
not
And
for
I
me.
think my last game for Surrey was at Guildford. I remember it clearly. It was got 124 not out against Middlesex. I was fielding at fine leg. My dad walked round. He goes, "You're right." So I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm out. Like that's.
So yeah.
I'd played so much cricket before that, and at that level too, you're playing 2-day games, and it's hard. It was proper cricket back then, and actually, and for me, it was like I'm done, and that was how I kind of worked it out in my head. Was right, that's finished. I'm going that way. Never once I'd questioned that decision.
Nice.
I was like, well, I'm just going to do it, and I'm just going to go for it.
What was to turn this into a cricket podcast? Did you know
I
Alistair
love cricket
Cook?
more than golf. So
Yeah.
Did
Did you know Ali Cook was as good as he was going to be back in the day?
Very young, we're 14 years of age at the time, but back then you can kind of. There's guys that in every sport, there's guys that just stand out. McIlroy, for example, when he came out, you knew that he was going to be a superstar.
Right.
There's guys coming out, Rasmus Nygaard, Peterson, you can see he's going to be a superstar. Those guys you see come through there, you know they're going to be great. And there's that level below the one you think, oh, he's really good, he'll make it, never make it. So it's really hard to figure out at that age. And I guess when you play sports so young, you can burn out before you're 15, 16. Yeah. So like you got to kind of keep moving with it. But yeah, you knew he was always great. I mean, he got all the records at school, and he was always pretty class. Yeah, not as good as me, but I mean, he's always pretty good. But
I actually met Alistair Cook back in New Zealand on a Sunday night at one of the worst bars in the country, and I was getting. This was after the Test series against New Zealand. You know, big night afterwards, and I was actually getting kicked out by one of the bouncers, and he had me around the collar and this other little blondie on the other collar. And I'm like, mate, what have I done? And he throws us to the ground. He was a big boy, big boy, and throws us to the ground. I look up and it's Joe Root. so he's got me here and Joe Root here. I was like, Joe, what are you doing? He's like, he's kicked me out because I look too young.
and then, what did he kick you out for?
Well, I was being an idiot. Yeah.
Not looking too young then.
So then Ali Cook comes out and tries to talk us in, and I was like, mate, you're not gonna let this happen. So we let Joe Root back in, and I slowly siphoned off.
Yeah. You sulked him at home.
Yeah. It was great though. Meet Alistair Cook.
Oh, why not?
It was fantastic.
Sir Alistair Cook.
But no, look, that was obviously a big chapter. And what was like I guess when you first made that decision, was it easy getting into the game? Was it like whiz bang crack? How hard was it to get on tour and get your start?
I guess it wasn't hard because I was young and kind of confident, and never did anything ever stop me from believing in what I was going to do. And you'll see, then you have no fear about the consequences or what happens if you don't play well, or that. You're young and you're going for it. And I remember sitting when I was in the England squad as an amateur, and we sat down with Peter McIlroy, who's now sadly passed away. He said, look around, guys. There's 15 of us in the room. Only one of you is going to make it in this room. Go by the stats. Only one person here. And in my head, like, it's got to be me. Like, you lot can just go home. But that's how I thought in my head. And so you had to be. But back, actually looking back now, we had Paul Waring in that squad, David Horsey, Ollie Fisher. We had, I think, about 8 of us made it on tour. So that's complete fallacy that only one of us was going to make it. But at the time, you kind of look and think, well, it has to be me. You have to have that inner belief and that inner mindset. And then And that was it. Really off and running, and I turned pro and played Challenge Tour. 2007, 8, got my card in 9, and that was it.
Brilliant. And you also had a few other hurdles to jump as well. Let's briefly touch on your Crohn's disease.
Yep.
You've had that from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to the listeners exactly what that is and how it affected you, and how much of a hurdle that was to jump?
It was, and actually looking back now, I kind of took it for granted a little bit, really. And when I was 16 doing my GCSEs, and I was down to about 8 stone. I was pretty ill. I remember that whole summer I missed about 4 months of the summertime, just in bed, couldn't move.
Wow.
And I guess Crohn's, you want to call it. It's inflammation in the intestine, colon. And it's kind of, for me, it kind of was stress related / maybe very lethargic, but something I've dealt with my whole life. And
So you can't eat, or like, is it just like?
Well, I take tablets every day so I can drink booze. That's where I'm at, and that's where I kind of put things into perspective.
Right.
But no, I've kept medication on. I've dealt with it through functional medicine stuff with my trainer Justin Buckthorpe.
Yeah.
So we've been on it, and touch wood, I've never been ill along the way on the road. I've been okay along the way, but yeah, something you've got to deal with. It's part of life. As golfers, we're not immune to that, so just got to deal with it and get on with it. So yeah, that was a big part of my early part of my life, but it's fine now.
So you got your tour card, you've made it on tour. Can you talk us through that moment of winning for the first time on tour? How special is that? I know that was in 2010.
Yeah.
That must have made you really feel part of it and feel
yeah, amazing. It felt great because I got 18th card from Challenge Tour, and back then the categories were different, so I was behind tour school. So I didn't play very much at the start. I think I played 2 before Christmas. I played in January. Didn't play for until whenever it was. And I got the Africa Open last minute. Finished 4th. I think I made 45,000 euros, and that was it. I thought Richard Branson. I thought I was the richest man in the world. Like, it's amazing. Then didn't play for literally 2 months. Didn't get anything in Asia. Didn't get anything in the Middle East, where the categories went. And I got into Andalusia. Finished 6th there. Week after was Madeira. So I go there thinking I've been playing well, and I'm going to re-rank well anyway. So it's kind of like every week was a new week, and I was really excited. And then all of a sudden, went out and won, played amazing golf, finished -20, beat Ollie Fisher by 1, I think it was, in the end. And that was it. And it was just done the most amazing, surreal, even though it was only a smaller event on tour, doesn't matter. Winning on tour is difficult. Yeah. Whether it's a Rolex event or whether it's a small event, the standard is so good that no matter where you win, you got to really enjoy it. And that was kind of the start of it all, really.
How did you enjoy it?
Well, I had to get a boat over so it was on Ireland. I'm really bad on boats. So, thank you. So yeah, got the boat, an hour ferry ride, puked on the way over, and that was kind of it, really. And then off and running from there.
Brilliant. A few celebrations on tour between you lot, I can imagine.
Well, yeah, there's my groups of friends. We do like a tipple, yeah. So that's the one joy of playing the game, that you got to try and embrace.
Friendships are bloody important.
Oh, massively important. It's so lonely. Like the young lads who come out on tour now, they play Call of Duty in their room. Their room service. It's a very lonely world, and I'm a bit old school. I've been on tour for a long time, so back when there was no real Wi-Fi, no social media, and you had to go out and socialise and talk to people, like face to face, like not texting, like actually communicate with people, and that was the old school way. We always had a couple of drinks and enjoyed ourselves, and that was part of professional golf, and that's dwindled, but that's the way of life.
Has it dwindled, like, between, I guess, your generation of lads as well? As I guess you're all getting a little bit older and you've played on tour for 15 years or so. Like, what is the energy around the circuit these days?
It's changed, yeah. There's a lot less kids around because everyone's so young. Like, the tour has changed dramatically from that respect in terms of how people look, how they dress, how they act. Like, they're all getting younger and younger and younger, and they're all very much influenced by social media and the average golfer now is a different breed than when we were out there, but in a nice way. Like, us oldies are trying to kind of act cool like them, I suppose, but it's not really working. But you got to try and it's great to have them involved and out on tour, and it makes for a great learning, a great melting pot of people, really.
I want to have a big discussion about majors in general. You've played in 7 of them. First and foremost, Rory's won the first one of the year. How cool was that for you as a golfer, playing, I guess, alongside him for so long?
Yeah.
How epic was that for a spectacle event?
Oh, I mean, I'm not a huge golf watcher, but I watched all of it, and for him to win the career Grand Slam was amazing. Obviously, all the hype that's gone into it, all the chat that's gone behind the scenes, how he dealt with it was unbelievable. It shows what sort of man he is and what sort of golfer he is. And he's been a great advocate for our tour. So as a DP World Tour player, I mean, we all look up to Rory. I've played lots of golf with him over the years, but for him to kind of be in our corner as well is great. And to have him kind of fly the flag for our tour is amazing to see. And obviously, he's the best golfer of our generation.
You've played 7 majors.
Yep.
But the Masters is not one of those.
No.
What's it like watching the Masters and kind of, is there a little bit of like, I can't believe, or I want to have played
Well,
there?
yeah, I get that question quite a lot. Oh, have you played the Masters? I'm like, well, I've never been good enough to play the Masters, but I've always wanted to have played there. And every year it comes around, you watch it on TV, and it's just amazing. And as any professional golfer, you want to play Augusta. That and the Ryder Cup are the two things you want to kind of play in, really, because it's the hardest one to qualify for from a European point of view, because it's all done by world rankings. And obviously, that's a big debate now with world ranking system, how it all works. But for us now, it's kind of even more out of reach, it feels like. But everyone's dream is to play Augusta because it's just an amazing. But I love to go there, love to experience it, and just to play the par 3 course, all of it. Like just to be involved with it would be amazing. But we'll see.
But you have
getting very far away now. But
a little bit. But
who cares? Always dream, kind of.
We can. But you have, one thing is for sure, you have played a PGA Championship.
Yep.
But is there anything, I guess, any great memories from the PGA Championship?
Loads. I mean, obviously, the good amount of the USPGA is you've got to qualify for it. So top 100 in the world. At that time, I was top 75 in the world, and I was playing some really good golf. And actually, I went to Whistling Straits in 2015. It was my first one, and you go there, and what an amazing place that is. And a golf course that I felt I could play well around because it wasn't so long, wasn't thick rough, and I shot -3 the first day, I think, and I was top 10, thinking, bloody hell, this is easy. Like, we're going to win the USPGA here. Like, get the speech ready, we're going to win. This is great. But then I made the cut. I think I was top 25 after 2 days. And a bit of an eye-opening experience there because I played with, and I'm not going to mention his name, an American golfer. But we had a rain delay Friday afternoon. We had one hole to go in the ninth. And my other playing partner, I'm not going to mention his name either because you can probably figure out the groups if you find all their names, but I don't drop them in it. But he was like, where's player A? I said, oh, well, I haven't seen him yet. He's like, he's missed a couple of miles. He's like 15 over. I said, do you think he'll turn up? Oh, he'll be here. He turns up and he's absolutely steaming. He's got his hat on sideways, his glasses on, shirt untucked. And this time he was top 50 player in the world, I think, at the time. And then, which is why he's got the 18th green and the 9th green. You kind of walk up between the both and up you go to the... And there's a bit of a dew on the ground. And the snaking marks up the fairway would live in my memory forever. Like, he was absolutely tontoed and he stunk.
The track man of the player.
So I was making the cut. The other two weren't. So they come back just for me, really, I guess. And he put the ball on the ground and he slipped on his driver, face ground into the ground. Ooh. Bang on the ground. I'm like, well, this bloke's gone.
Wow.
Hit the toe shank with the driver. You think he made 8 or 9, but he was off his rocker. He got in, he was trying to sign his card, couldn't write it anyway. But I made par, thank so that was fine. But like, I was thinking, this bloke's one of the best golfers in the world. Like, what's he doing? But
sounds like a Saturday at your local
exactly,
club.
yeah. And you think USPGA at a major, you'll never have that experience. But
it's John Daly returning.
John Daly sort of, and then I played with Garcia on Saturday, and that was that. less said about that, the better.
Wow. Well, that would be amazing to watch. Were the gallery ripping into it? Did they notice it?
No, it was like it's 7:30 in the morning. There's no one there. So like,
right.
It was too early for the crowd to be there. But Saturday when I played with Garcia, you walk over the road over a big over the stairs they put in for the players, and that's the first time I really ever didn't fancy it anymore because go over the stairs and you look right down the first fairway and it was 8 deep with people.
Oh wow!
There was that hazy bit you see from the old footage of the Open days, and Marv, my caddy, said, Marv, I don't fancy it. I'm out. Yes, I'm not doing this anymore. And I it just hit me, like the whole kind of being contention at a US major is so different than anything else. It's such a big
What do you mean you're not doing this anymore?
As I didn't fancy it. It looked so scary. Like the people, the crowd, it just wasn't for me. But and I think I shot 81 in the end, so I should have just gone in, but not finishing last. But
wow.
But no, it was a real playing in America at major is so different than it is playing in Europe, and that was kind of the bit that hit me in terms of competing at the majors in America is so difficult.
Wow. And so is that like, do you think that's a nerve thing or just a completely different stage thing? Because
it's probably a bit of both. Had never been in that position before, and actually a bit of a nerve thing. Yeah. And actually, it's a different proposition over there. The crowds are raucous, they're loud. It's a big drinking culture. They're there for a day out rather than in Europe. Watch a little bit of golf and have a clap. Like there's no. Yeah. Whereas there, it's a really big day out for the Americans, and you kind of got to be ready for that. And hence why I got so much respect for the likes of McIlroy, Adam Scott. These guys have done it year in, year out.
People
just keep going with it. And like Tiger Woods, for example,
never
played a round of golf in his life without people just shouting at him.
Yeah.
And I had that for a real brief moment, and I hated every minute of it.
Wow.
Well, these guys just deal with it on a weekly basis. So actually, to keep playing the golf they've played at that level was just, I mean, hats off to them. Big stuff.
Because you got it a hell of a lot at one round at Shinnecock, is that correct?
No, it's just that I qualified for the US PGA of the Week year after at Bolter's Roll.
Oh, right.
I got a pair with Billy Horshaw. I think I was +7 through 5 the first day. I was playing crap at the time, and I hadn't fallen out of the world rankings that quickly, so I was still in. I'm like, hey, like one that you don't want to be at a major if you're not playing very well.
Yeah.
Hook, 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 rough, rough. One big American bloke in the crowd was like, "Hey man, you suck." I'm like, "Yeah, I do suck. You're right, but I don't want to be here either, mate. So just come on." Rough. Next bloke, "Hey man, you're." And it went all the way around and playing with Billy Horshaw. I'm like, "Billy, I'm really sorry, mate, but I'm not playing very well." He's like, "Mate, don't worry about it. It's fine." He was flying. He was like top 5. I'm thinking,
Right.
I felt horrific. I just wanted to get out of there, but playing major golf and not playing very well is very, very difficult.
Yeah. What was some of the worst things that the crowd have said to you in the past, or that you've heard from other players as well? Because it's a quiet place, so you can hear every word they say.
You hear everything on a golf course, but I've not heard many things. But I imagine it's getting worse now.
Yeah.
And I haven't played any sort of Ryder Cups in America, but I know that's pretty raucous and pretty. That they find out all your secrets somehow. I don't know how they find out. They find out where to get you between the eyes. So I haven't really heard anything that bad, really. But just a bit of personal abuse. But that's a bit about it.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah, I look forward to the Ryder Cup this year at Bethpage. It's going to be brutal. I think as a European golfer, that's going to be a pretty scary place. But I won't be there. But so I'm not going to deal with it. But the guys who are going to be there are going to be very difficult.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Open. You've played a few good rounds there.
Yeah.
I know you've played with the likes of Phil Mickelson and Tom Watson.
Yeah.
What was it like playing with those sorts of names?
Oh, it's dream stuff, you know. Again, back in 15, I was flying on the Order of Merit. I was playing really well, and it was funny. It was Wednesday afternoon. I played with Anthony Wall, was a good friend of mine, and we were playing George Coetzee as well. And George Coetzee is like, I think I might need to play 5 holes because it's late in the day. And Wally being Wally, he's pretty sharp. He nudged me. He's like, "Look behind." I turn around and there's this figure in the distance with his son in his cane. It was Tom Watson. You've got to get rid of George quickly. I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Get rid of George. Tell him to go over there. We'll play a 3-ball. It'll be great." So Wally's like, "George, I think if you're going to go now, go now. I think you've got to cut to 15T, 16T. "Are you sure?" "Yeah, just basically off, go to get out of the way." So George walked across the 16. Next minute, no, tap on the shoulder. "Hi, I'm Tom Watson. Do you mind if I join you?" I'm like, wow, please. They'd be.
Brilliant.
Played all the way around, played all 15 holes with him, picked his brain about certain shots, how you play certain holes. And I was like 12 on the old courses. It was quite a hard hole to figure out. Bunker short, bunker in the middle. Do you hit driver, do you lay back? And he said to me that week, always lay back at the first bunker. 5-iron or 4 off the tee, never longer shot in, but always going to have a shot to the green.
Yeah.
Played that hole in 3 under par for the week. 3 birdies out of 4 days. I'm like, this is genius. Like,
Wow.
And that's kind of...
Yeah, that's a horrible tee shot. They just clear it now.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we play that down the links, it's cold and wet, so it's into the breeze quite a lot, so you can't get past those bunkers. Whereas in the summertime, when you play the Open, it's different. But they're the things you pick up from the top pros. People have done it for years. The little things you kind of learn along the way. And he was an absolute gent all the way around. Got a photo on the Swilcan Bridge on the 18th, and like it was just dream scenario. And to sort of, I think that was his last Open, I think, as well at the same time. So play with him his last Open, practice round, it was just incredible.
That is awesome. That's so nice. And then Phil the Thrill as well.
Phil, played Phil on Sunday. Yeah, and he was flying as -7 with 2 to play for the day, and he made 7 on 17, hit it out of bounds in the hotel, and we both shot -4 to finish. I think it was 20th in the end, 21st. Roughly, we're 1 shot away from getting back in next year, but that was great, and it was a great experience to play with. Then he was still top 5 in the world, whatever he was, and one of our greatest golfers ever to play the game, and to play with him and see how he did it was amazing. He hit some of the best flop shots off greens, and how he plays certain shots was just amazing to watch.
Very nice, very nice. And what about, I guess, for you as well? Before we leave the PGA Championship, and as you have another sip of whiskey, I hear some rumours that you had a pretty big week before one of the PGA Championships at Royal Ascot.
Oh yeah,
I've done a little bit of digging.
Yeah, thanks for making stop me in there a little bit. No, we had we had a golf day at my home club St George's Hill of a pro-am, and they had a auction prize for a box for 20 at Ascot for the King George race day. I was like, well, I'm having a bit of that, and it was for what it was a cheap auction price. I sod it, we did it. So we all went, 20 of us. I was flying to the USPGA the next day, and we were absolutely tontoed. And I remember that whole day was, I took my sister with me. My sister's only 4'11", so dropping her kid. She's like a half woman, half dwarf. And so I wrestled her for a shoe, and I threw her shoe off the balcony, and it basically was on the racetrack. And watching her go down shoeless to find her shoe was quite funny. And then I think I won some money in the bet, and I'm not a big gambler at all. I don't do the horses, and I think I won 400 quid. I just threw it all in the air and walked off. So it's gone by that point. And my mum was on the floor, just hands and knees, picking all the money up. And the next day she's like, "Oh, here's your money from the horse you won." I'm like, "What? I didn't win a horse. I didn't win a race. Well, you won 400 quid. Oh, bonus." I didn't know. I forgot they even won it. It was like, this is amazing. But yeah, then we flew to the PGA the next day, absolutely hanging. But there are things in life that you kind of got to enjoy. And I wasn't pretty good at separating home and being a professional golfer at the same time, because you got to enjoy life along the way.
Well, would you call it separating when you, like, I feel like when we talk about your sledging, we talk about that, and then if we merge them together, I feel like it's a bit rich coming from you, because I see that you've been fined for tweeting back to fans.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I think I was the original tweeter at the time, and that was a tweet in Wales that I put out, and on tour, every fine you get, you doubles every time.
Right.
I think that was my third fine of the year. And that same week, I whacked a tee mark with the driver, and it went into millions of pieces. Playing with Scott Strange, an Aussie guy who played on tour for a long time. And the nail out of the tee mark hit him in the stomach. It like pierced his stomach, like a bit of a pinprick, so to speak. So I've wounded him, and I've tweeted and wounded Wales as a nation. I think I got fined $5,000 that week. I finished 60. I think I finished 63rd and made €6,000, but net was out about $3,000. But did I enjoy it? Yeah, I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was great fun.
Well, there was some footage we were watching as well. And speaking of being angry and like the tough times of golf, we saw the video of you in the green room, which was pretty cool.
Hi, James. Welcome to the green room.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling after your round?
Like,
was there anything in particular that made it bad?
All of it looked like a 7 handicapper on a good day. I guess back to reality, I actually felt like a golfer for the first 2 days, and then reality set in. I'm just I should have worked harder at school. Dad's so overweighted the money on my education. I should have worked a lot harder in school, and I wouldn't have been sitting in this chair right now.
It was cool for people to see you opening up.
Yeah.
It kind of went viral. And can you run us through, I guess, the pure rage which golf can put you in, and how maybe nice it was to actually maybe let it out every now and then?
Yeah, I think you got to be able to let it out at some point, because it just keeps bubbling inside, then you're going to completely lose the plot. And I think nowadays people are more inclined to talk about stuff than they ever used to be, mental health side of it. And obviously thanks to you guys doing all the podcasts, and the DP World do great stuff with social media. You can portray that to the people at home. And we're not all flying through golfing life on private jets and it's all easy, you're making millions. It's not like that for normal golf. And I think if you try and portray that to the people at home, they get a better view of it. And Polly, who works for DP World Tour social media stuff, came to me at the start of the week saying, "Do you want to do the green room?" I'm like, I'm doing it under 2 circumstances. I play really well or really nothing in between. I think I shot 4 over par on Sunday in Dubai, and I was raging. I was so hot, sweating, or sunburnt. I'm like, sod it, we'll do it now. There's no better time than now. I sat down, and the guys, the questions they asked, I just went for it. I just that's my humour at the same time.
Yeah.
But also I vent stuff through humour, and that's how I deal with it. And if people can relate to that at home, then great. And if they can't, then so be it. But I feel like I say what I feel most of the time, which is not a good thing sometimes. But
no, it can get you into trouble, but it's also
keeps life interesting.
Pure honesty. And
And that green was kind of that. And I didn't do it to get any intention. Didn't do it to get any likes on social media. I did it just because I did it, and that was it.
Yeah. And you mentioned, I love how you mentioned, it's not all private jets or whatever. Like, what is for you like the toughest part about being a professional golfer, or what is one of the lowest moments you've got to? Because it's not all glory and trophies and money.
Yeah, 100%. I think I haven't really not had one point in my life where I've been very low. It's just a kind of a culmination of a lot of stuff, and I think we may get to that a bit later about expenses and finances and how much it costs to play the tour. But you think every week is $3.5 grand, $4 grand a week.
Right.
So every week's a gamble. So people say,
let's get into the finances.
Well, so people say, do you gamble? No, I play golf for a living. That's enough gambling for me I can deal with. And the mental side of the game is from our point of view, especially in my career, I've had so many good weeks, but then lots of times where I've had 2 months of playing bad golf, 3 months, 4 months, but you somehow come through that end of it and you play well and you keep a card and off you go to the next year or whatever your goals are as a golfer. But I think the bit you learn, you get hardened to on tour is the kind of the down times. Is that kind of call it a bit of a lag? I call it a lag period. Whereas the weeks where you're flying 12th, 5th, 4th, this is great. But you don't enjoy the good bits. That's what I should be doing. I'm best golfer in the world. I should be doing that.
Yeah, right.
But when you play crap, you can't deal with it. You make it such a big deal. So I did an interview, I think, a few weeks ago for the tour, and I didn't enjoy the good bits
as much as you should.
I should have done.
Yeah.
But I made the bad bits even worse than I should have done.
Yeah. So
it was the wrong way round. And actually, you got to enjoy the good days because they go they go like that. And we're not all, like I said, we're not all McIlroys of the world. They don't come around that often. And that's the hardest bit about tour life is dealing with the ups and downs and kind of and that's involved that you traveling around the world on your own and being away from friends and family and you've got to deal with the good bits and you've got to deal with the bad bits, and that's the hard bit.
Yeah, well, that's, I guess, like when you look as a fan on TV, you see all your favourite golfers playing. For example, the likes of Jordan Spieth. I haven't seen him at the top of the leaderboard in ages. How important is cashing in when you're in these little hot patches? And what are these little hot patches? Because you do go on a run, but then you never know when it's coming back.
Right.
What is the difference, or what triggers those?
Yeah,
sort of...
that's the hardest bit. As I'm going to keep saying it, normal tour pro. Well, I'm going to keep referring to that, but you've got to try and cash in when you can.
Yeah,
because you don't finish 8th on a bad week. You're home Friday night on a bad week.
Yeah,
and you've got to, without putting too much pressure on yourself in that moment, you got to try and balance the fact of, right, I'm going to take this by the scruff of the neck and I'm going to do well, but I'm not going to make it a big deal, make it the be all and end all. So you got to try and find that happy medium between making it really important and taking your chance. Because I saw like Paul Waring winning Abu Dhabi, played golf for Paul since we were 18 years of age, and to see a tour pro win a big event is just amazing for all of us to see, and we all take so much pride in that, and it shows it can be done, and we are all as good as everybody else is, but never get the chance to do that. And for him to get across the line and win was just amazing to see that. And
that's purely because he came on the podcast.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm not here for you or anybody else. I'm here for the fact that I'm going to win next week.
The week off. Yeah,
exactly. But then again, and then you look back at, you try and compare yourself to the top pros, like a Justin Rose, for example. The bad weeks are 12th, 14th, 11th. That is the whole art to tour golf, is making your bad golf better than anybody else's. And that's where you climb the world rankings, you climb all the merits, when you're always making points, always up there, always. Whereas for me, in my career, I've always been either 4th or gone missing for 2 months.
Right.
4th, missing. And that you can't climb the world of golf doing that. And that's why the top pros are so good. They're so consistent week in, week out. And how do you get to that point? God knows. I'm still trying to find it out. But that's the whole art of tour golf. Tour golf is it's a long period of time. It's a long season. It's finding the ebbs and flows, finding just how and when you play well is difficult.
You mentioned before that you go through $3 or $4 grand a week on tour.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that? Is that caddies, flights, hotels?
Yeah, so the things you can't negate on tour is you're travelling and your caddy's wage. The average caddy wage now is between 1,200 and 1,500 quid a week.
Right, so
you play 30 weeks.
So that's their retainer.
That's their retainer.
Yeah.
Then you pay them a 7% when you make a cut.
Right.
So your weeklies, a bit cheaper in Europe. Like you can do it softer in Europe, maybe 2.5 grand, 3 grand, because obviously not long haul flying, flights are cheaper. Yeah. Etc. But you're in for that. So and you got to foot the bill yourself. That's the way.
Yeah, because essentially you're the boss, right? So
I'm CEO of a massive business.
You're the CEO.
It's just me in it.
Humongous company. Yeah, and it's got a lot of strange personalities in this business.
It's a non-profit organisation too. We don't make any profit.
Yeah, well, like, when is it the non, like, how bad is the non-profit part? Because you say you go from miscuts to fourth, to fourth, like, and there's certainly no PJs in your Instagram that I'm seeing.
No.
But like, so what are some of those tough times and the realizations that year, even though a lot of you guys have had success, like how much success do you need to have a really healthy tour life?
Yeah, people always financially healthy tour life.
Yes.
Yeah. So people always ask me that kind of. I just try and break it down to where I'm at, how I deal with it. So my last 2 years of my expenses have been 107 grand a year, pounds.
Right.
That's just my caddy wage and my traveling.
Sure.
Things you can't negate, right? So you figure that out. That's a big chunk.
That's huge, yeah.
And then you go caddy 7%, coaches 3, 4, 5%, trainer 5%. If you have an agent, some of other percentages, so some are retainers, depending where you're at, what you do.
Yeah.
You've got withholding tax, you've got your own tax, you've got other few bits that pop up. You've got life, living. Let's live in a bush. People don't. And that's not me being negative. That's just being honest. And actually, the one good thing about the game of what we play is the tour provides such great events for us on a yearly basis. But the carrot is always dangled. Every week you can change your life.
Yeah.
That one, Paul Waring, that one big week.
Yeah. And
you're off and running. And that's what's the good thing about golf is that it's down to you. That carrot's always dangled and you're always chasing it. It's getting further away sometimes, but you're always chasing that dream week. And that's the whole drug of it, I suppose. That kind of every week, right, this is my week. Maybe not. Next week, this is my week. Maybe not. The week after, it's my week. And I've done it. And that's the kind of, that's the joy of the game. The one bit you love the most about playing. And so you look at it from that respect, you probably got to make about 300 grand to really kind of break even, not break even, but like, to make a living.
Because like you mentioned, when you see the crowd at a major championship and that gives you, but like, it's a different type of pressure when you're not only playing to win or playing 100%. To achieve good things, but if you know in the back of your mind, you're like, mate, I haven't got a paycheck and I've missed 7 cuts in a row. I haven't got a paycheck in a while. Like, does that also add another flavour?
Well, without doubt, it has to. It does do that. But those guys who can't deal with that disappear quite quickly. And I've always seen that as kind of like, I'm not a long hitter and I'm just a solid golfer. So I kind of see that as my superpower a little bit because I quite enjoy that feeling of kind of get turned on by a little bit. I don't know. It's like, that's what separates me from him because I'm tour hardened. I'm used to it. I know it's like nothing for 3 months. You've got to kind of buy your time and you kind of go with it. And it's just part of the game. And if you can't deal with that, then you're in the wrong business. And I try and turn that to a bit of a positive and kind of try and enjoy that side of it if you can. But so anything in any job and everything crosses over. You've got big expenses in other industries, and that's just part and parcel of it.
Oh, it's like Test cricket.
Like Test cricket, yeah. I mean, you get out first ball on a Thursday morning, you're there all there for 2 days. Like you kind of got to. That's part of it. That's what makes golf. That's what makes golfers golfers. It's part of the game. It's no different to driving, putting, chipping. The mental side of the game is also an asset people have to have, and that's sport in general.
What's the one part of your game that has carried your career, if there was one?
My short game.
Your short game?
Yeah. I mean, I've got up and down out of shoe boxes in my career. Like that's been, if I couldn't chip and putt, but by selling Mars bars in the pro shop, definitely. That's one bit that's got me through. That's got me through everything. Is my short game, and like I said, I'm not a long hitter. I'm pretty straight, but you got to kind of lean into the bit you're good at, and that's my short game bit, and I've always enjoyed that.
So aside from selling Mars bars, what are the next steps for James Morrison?
Busking in London by the looks of it. But no...
well, we are on the heart of Soho.
Yeah, exactly. If I can take some whiskey out with me, I can get half drunk.
We're actually going to keep the cameras on you just in case. You seem like the type of bloke that walk away with 10 of them.
Yeah, well...
And I'll be...
that's a scary thing. I probably would try that. But no, what's next? So I want to keep playing the game. And end of last year in Korea, I was ready to give it up. And that's why you have people around you, team and family and friends, the people kind of... to put it literally and put it kind of break it down to reality. And actually, you know what? I love the game. And actually going back out on tour now, and I see people not seen for a long time. And you realize what a great tour is, the DP World Tour. We're so lucky. We play all over the world. Great people involved with the tour.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's great. It's what I've known my whole life. And I want to keep doing it. And till I can't, then I won't. But yeah, what's next? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Any job offers out there? I mean, I put a great pint somewhere. I know I would. go with the booze team. Well,
that'll probably work. Well, you've Funnily enough, you've already given a set of golf clubs away. I was also reading the other day. Like,
Yeah.
don't give yours away just yet. But where was it where you gave a set away to a kid after you played an absolute stonker?
We're in Perth, and week before in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I thought I was good enough to use a set of blades. Callaway, thanks for sorting me out with that. Probably to give them all away, but the week before I finished 10th in Malaysia.
Right, so you're feeling good.
With my new club, set of blades.
That's good.
It's brilliant, great.
I'm back.
Go to Perth, play with Nico Hearn and Stephen Leaney.
Nico Hearn, he's a good journeyman of a golf.
Yeah, he is the epitome, right?
Yeah.
And but also very good at the game. Also very, very good at the game. But I played terrible, and I had a woman who's doing the walking scoring. I was having a chat to her about, my son plays golf. So, does he want a set of clubs? She's like, he's got beginner sets. So, no, does he want a set of clubs? She's like, what do you mean? So we can have mine if you want, because they don't work for me. So take the lot. So we get to the scorer's hut on Friday, missed the cut by 805, whatever, missed the cut by. And then I got all my clubs out of the bag. I went, there you go.
See you later.
Enjoy. She's like, well, no, just take them.
Just
thanks,
them out of my
thanks
stock.
Callaway for a whole new set, by the way. But take the whole lot. Went back there 6 years later, left him a locker from her son saying, thanks for the clubs, now for scratch handicap, I'm still using the golf clubs. You're my hero. I'm like, bloody hell, this is great. But that's what it's all about. It flipped from being an angry thing to actually, you know what? It's great you're still using them. But at least
someone can use them.
Well, I could use them. At least he can use them properly because I couldn't. But
Down to a scratch.
yeah, so that was it. So yeah, I've broken a lot of clubs, but that was the most enjoyable giveaway because it actually went.
What's your technique for the break? Cross the knee, just clean snap.
The throw and the on the ground foot through the shaft is the one because you can get good leverage.
Yeah,
and you can hear the crack better, and it actually really kind of
sends a message.
You feel great. Like the adrenaline rush, whatever you call it, the endorphin release is fantastic.
Yeah,
but
so would you say you're under or over sort of 21 and a half broken clubs?
Oh, way more. Yeah. Way more. They're everywhere. I mean, they're up trees. They're in the King's Pond in Morocco. We used to play the King's Course. There's a few in there. And I remember once I had a lob wedge that I loved, and I couldn't get one the same again, Callaway one. And Kay's like, mate, I haven't ever head off because just remember, don't break the lob wedge because all we've got is that one.
Oh no.
We're in Portugal, and I duffed my chip and just threw it off my head into the pond.
Oh no.
And the splash was so like quiet and like boom, deafening. I was like, that's the lob wedge.
That's it.
We have to change now, wouldn't we? It's like, yeah, we have to change now. But I don't condone breaking clubs. But it's also we get paid to use clubs. So thank you, Callaway, again for sorting me out with clubs. But
if you buy a used coming out of this podcast.
Yeah. So but you know what? It's sport at the highest level, and it's you're in the cauldron, you're in the heat of battle, and it is what it is.
What would you say you're most proud of in your career? Because like I can't stress how impressive it is to play for so long.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, we talk about everyone else's successes, but like to play as a professional golfer for over 15 years is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you most proud of for all your efforts?
I'm most proud of. One thing would just be the hard work, like because you don't get anywhere without hard work. And behind the scenes, we all work harder than people see.
Yeah.
It's all those moments where it's winter time at home, it's freezing cold, out there hitting balls in the winter time, and actually things you take for granted. Actually, realize I have worked hard at this game, and I have put my effort in, and I have grind away at doing it week in, week out, and it's the effort I've put into it along the years has been probably the most proudest thing, really. And actually, I've given it everything. I've given it my all, and I'm winning tournaments is the one thing. I mean, when I won in Spain, I just knew I was going to win. That week was just so quiet and so, and actually that week was off the booze that week.
Oh,
so
finally I've worked it out.
I've tried it and it hasn't worked again since. But that week was just a week where my week before we were in China to Spain. That's a common occurrence for us on the DP World Tour. Lots of traveling and be ready to play. And so I went to Spain and I was sharing room with Andrew Doak at the time, Aussie, and we were just sitting there and talking about stuff, and just knew that week that I worked out well. The tee times worked out well. My lucky number was 21. I was group 21 on Sunday. Things just, and I don't care what you say, winning is always about playing well, but it's about being lucky. Things have to fall into place. And I mean, I can play great golf, but you can play better golf than I can, and you win. So you can't think some of the things you can't help when to win golf tournaments. But that week was just a Didn't look at any leaderboards. I played great. Putting, just one of those weeks, I've won. That was easy. But then, how do you get to that state of mind more?
Tranquility.
Yeah, who knows? Like, I've tried it since, but it just doesn't quite happen that way. And you think I've only won twice on tour, but twice is more than a lot of people. And actually, 430 odd events that I've only won twice, the ratio is pretty bad. But
it shows how tough it is.
It is tough. And I guess those winning moments are the most proud of be really.
And what about looking back over those years? What are potentially some of your regrets? Like, what would you look back on and maybe try and change if you were to go another 15?
Yeah, I just had a chat with my mate this morning about it. And I actually brought this up this morning to my friend. And actually, my one big regret is when it's not going so well on a Friday afternoon and just making cuts and getting through the line. And because you never know when you're going to play good golf. And I had too many weeks where I've wasted weeks in terms of giving up or turning the 35th place into 25th place or 25th to 15th. I said before, that's how you grow your golf career and move into the different worlds of golf, and you go up order of merits and world rankings. And it's not wasting weeks. And I've had too many weeks where I wasted that through bad attitude. And that'd be my only regret, would be that. And as a golfer, you feel so invincible sometimes. You think, oh, I'm not playing well, I'm going to change coach. Change swing thought, change clubs, and you become you think you're a superhero when it comes to that stuff. And actually, you've got to just stick to what you do best and how you do it. The best coach, Rory, the same coach since he was 4.
Yeah.
Top pros change things a lot
Great
less.
Michael Bannon.
Yeah, and the secret's in hard work, not a new driver, a new putter, a new swing thought, a new coach, a new caddy. The top players seem to have things very much in line more than
same.
the average tour pro does. And I've been bad at that over the years of just thinking, right, it's not my fault, it's your fault, so you're gone.
Right.
Actually, I'm CEO, like you said before, it comes down to me. I'm out there playing golf, nobody else. And actually, you think you're invincible, and actually you change things too quickly. And Thomas Bjorn gave me a good bit of advice years ago, because careers are fragile, handle them with care. I didn't do that quite so much the latter end of my career. And that's kind of another regret, I suppose. But you try and get better. The whole adage of being a better golfer, but just getting better at what you do is all you can do.
Brilliant. Well said.
But should have said that 10 years ago. I wouldn't be sitting here now, but it's fine.
Well, you'd still be sitting here.
With a few more trophies.
Yeah. We would have just got you in a bit earlier.
Yeah,
maybe.
correct. Yeah, I had a better bottle of whiskey, the top one from the top shelf.
I'll get the top shelf. I actually forgot to mention your hole-in-ones.
Yeah.
Not many people have got 2 hole-in-ones on.
No.
Ran away with what? A new car?
A couple of new cars,
New cars.
Yeah. But one was at Port Rush,
Oh,
15th. It's called Calamity, I think it's called. And one was at Wentworth, yeah.
that's a hell of a hole to the Calamity one.
Yeah, and both 5-irons, believe it or not.
Oh, brilliant.
I hate 5-iron normally, but I've had 2 irons and one with 5 irons. I don't know how that was. But I had one in Wentworth, and I was playing with Andy Sullivan at the time. And Andy's pretty short, right? It's 4'11", 5 foot, whatever he is.
Yeah.
It's a glorified midget. Sorry, Andy, but you are. And we play with Andy, and we got to the bottom of the hill at 14, and it is steep. I went to him, "You heavy?" He went, "I'm heavier than I look." I'm like, "You can't be, you're tiny." Trust me, I'm heavier than I look, so well, sod it. Fireman carried him up the hill there, and the minute I got on my shoulder was complete regret, because he is so heavy.
Little ball of...
It's like a demolition ball. Like, I got him up on my shoulder, and it's so steep. Got halfway up, my legs, my knees are wobbling. I was like, "Oh my god!" I got up to the green, put him down, got to the next tee, and I was still shaking. Hit it out of bounds right. I went double bogey, 1 double bogey. So I don't give a shit about that bit, but I had a hole in ones. That's all that matters. But
Sully's fault.
yeah, Sully's fault. It's too heavy.
He was good on the podcast, actually.
He is a funny dude, Andy, and actually, sort of the characters on tour that we need.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the way the game is going, it's so kind of robotic, and
Yeah.
which is great, because young lads come out on tour better than ever they have done before, ready to play, better golfers, but you still need those guys on tour to make tour fun and enjoyable.
Who's the best golfer you've ever played with in a proper round?
The one person I play with who surprised me the most was Paul Lawrie.
Oh, wow.
People ask about it all the time, and I played with Paul my first year quite a bit, and I was just blown away by his ball striking, his swing, how he played the game, his shot shaping, and back in 2010, hitting the ball a long way was not really a thing, But back then he had that shot where he can hit it 40 yards further if he wanted to. It was quite amazing. And it was one guy that I played with and thought, bloody hell, this player's amazing. Like, under the radar, I know he won the Open. He's great. He won more than, was he won on tour? 15 times on tour, roughly? 14 times on tour. Had a great career, but he blew me away about how well he hit the ball and how good he was. And, well, obviously, played with everyone. Rory, Mickelson, all of DJ, Adam Scott. Well, Adam Scott was the biggest one for me, where I remember playing with him. It wasn't about the golf. I was just overawed by him. Like, he's handsome, he's tall, he smells amazing, looks amazing. He's he's a loveliest bloke on the planet. It's just, and my best mate, Wade Ormsby, and Adam played junior golf together. So we organised a practice round at Wentworth a couple of years ago. But he's like, do you want to play with Adam? I'm like, yeah, but no. Like,
No.
I don't fancy it.
He's out of my
like,
depth.
he's like, I can't. I just be staring at him the whole time. It's like, well,
Punching.
come on, Tuesday afternoon we'll go play. So we played 12 holes with him. It was amazing. And then got to the first at Wentworth. Normally it's a 3-wood. I've got driver teed up like that. And when Wade teeing up, Wade was like, mate, why are you hitting driver for? I'm like, because I'm myself, Wade. And Adam started laughing because I just anything, we'll go on the tee, just get it off the tee, because there's very few guys in golf that you see have that aura, that kind of that swag, yeah. Like, and he's one of the best golfers in the world. Well, number one,
Masters champ.
him and Tiger and Oberg has it now. Like, when he comes around, you know they're there. You have that feeling and that persona, and to play with Adam was amazing. And I ended up got to play with him again at the start of that year in Abu Dhabi, final group with him and Hovland, him and Poulter, HSBC champions, and that made it easier having been able to play with him before. I was less intimidated and felt like a mate. I was holding his hand and like touching his hair and smelling his jumper and that sort of stuff. So like, and actually, it made it a lot easier to kind of be with him and play with him. But he would be my number one, because he's just, there's nothing he doesn't do that's not classy, and he just got it all right. He does it all right.
And just before we go, I always like saying or asking, what is one more thing that you would like to achieve, or what is one more, I guess, chapter in the James Morrison story that you'd love to finish with?
I guess the easy one would be love to win again. That would be that. There's no better feeling than getting it over the line on a Sunday afternoon in front of a crowd and winning a golf tournament. It's just the best feeling in the world. And yeah, I want to get back on tour. I want to do that. I want to achieve more. I'm still fit and strong, touch wood. Yeah. Lost a few marbles along the way, but I'm still semi there. But I'd love to win again. That'd be great. And to get back on tour and do well. And who knows? Would be the one dream.
You mentioned winning again, but what does, I guess, life after golf look like for you? Because we heard your dulcet tones commentating in Bahrain.
Correct. It put people to sleep that day for that week. No, I commentated in Bahrain, which was great. They gave me an opportunity to do it on course, which was brilliant, and really, really enjoyed it. And I've done stuff over the years, an hour here in the box, done a bit of Sky stuff, and done stuff for the tour and on social media stuff. So I enjoy that part of it. Yeah. Love talking. Booze and talking are two things I do enjoy.
Well, you can't do both in commentary, though.
well, maybe you can try.
Yeah.
And but no, I had a great time. That would be something I'd love to do in the future, but it's not down to me. It's down to the powers of powers.
Would you class yourself as quite a nerd of the game as such? Do you analyse the game deeply?
I wouldn't call myself a nerd from a golfing point. I love golf equipment. I'm a golf equipment nerd.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I played with Mateo Schwab in Turkey last week. What happened to that shaft you're using your 3-wood? So how the hell do you know that? I said, well, I love equipment. I take it in. I don't know why. I notice things that change, but I guess from the commentary side of it, as a current golfer and you just know the game differently. You see things differently, and on the course, but it was great. Loved it. Worked with Anthony Wall and those guys for that week. It was really, really, and I made the weekend as well, which is great. It is cost me nothing.
It's a guaranteed weekend.
Cost me nothing, and I got paid, and I made the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's a dream week, really. But I mean,
here we go.
But no, I loved it. That would be something I'd love to do in the future. But if I got a face for radio, but we'll see.
Very good. Nice. Well, I'm sure we'll be following. I hope many listeners, after hearing from you, will follow even closer now as well, because it's been great to get to know you. And
awesome. Thanks for having me.
Wish you all the best, mate.
I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.